take a good look at my mop. Hello all, good morning. It is Saturday. It is putz around the studio day. Swing around in my chair, right? Whoopsie. So anyways, I want to show you, this is going to be its own video, but I was showing you the video on the rabbit. I couldn't take it. I had to mess with it. I'm a painter. I can't help it. So anyway, here you go. There's my bunny. So he's already, I did paint the edges to give it a little bit more depth, right? But yeah, I had to add some color. I have done several pieces of art that are monochrome, grays, blacks, whites, and I enjoy doing them. But that bunny just needed life. I don't know. I couldn't stand it. I had to go there. So I did. I don't know if you remember, in one video quite a while ago, I had bought one of these and I said I was going to, I don't know if I ever posted that video, but I said I was going to do like a resin in there and make it like a tray, put handles on it and stuff. Well, I made the handles for it, but I'm acting like a child. I know, but I can't help it. I'm in a good mood today. I've had a frappe and a cup of coffee. I'm good. But I made handles for the other one out of resin to put on there. But disaster happened overnight while it was drying. I had about $30 worth of resin in there. I had painted it, put flowers in there, right? Done some little rock work. Really made it cool. It was kind of heavy, but it was supposed to be like a serving tray. Then I put one of these over it that night to cover it, to keep particles from getting in the resin, right? I didn't realize at the very top of this, on the inside top, there was a bunch of paint, and it was hot that night. Oh yeah, it went there. It all dripped down on top of the wet resin, and it was just ruined. I had to throw the entire thing out. 3 days, $30 worth of resin. So please, it's the first time it's ever happened to me, but stuff like that can happen, and I wasn't paying attention. I didn't look to make sure it wasn't contaminated in there. It was hot out. It was like 95-degree day, and during the night it all just plopped down into my wet resin, and yeah, I was so mad. I had to stay off here for a couple of days. I had to work that out of my system. So I bought that one, another one. I got those at Family Dollar. I think they're $5. So it was like a $35, $40 trash day when that happened. But I'm gonna do another one, and I'm gonna do a thin layer of resin this time. And I'm going to, I don't know what I'm gonna do. Maybe I'll put a saran wrap over it. With my luck, the saran wrap will collapse, right? So just make sure if you're gonna cover your resin that you use something that's not contaminated anywhere in it. Otherwise, chances are it could fall into your resin. So anyways, I don't know if I'm gonna resin today though. I've been out here a couple hours working on that bunny. So now, this is, the freeze dryer's going. We have 20 hours, 7.5 hours pretty much of drying. We have our avocado. We have Mom's pork roast and 5 Oscar Mayer wieners back there. Mom's homemade salsa and canned green beans that I drained. So, and this one I did yesterday. I've not listed her yet. I still have all of this tuna over here that I want to freeze dry. Put my tools back. And I still want to freeze dry some more canned ham. I'm going to go by Miss Betty that left me a comment on my YouTube about taking these in the house, putting them in a pan, heating them up, and draining them. So we are going to go there with the meat very, very soon. Probably before the tuna, because I already did these right here. These are all tuna. That is 16 cans of tuna versus 3 bags of, right? And they're like featherweight. They don't weigh anything, right? Canned tuna. So anyways, we got that going for us. I still want to come over here. I want to get my cake mixes and all my mixes like this, dry mixes, out of the boxes and into Mylar bags. They'll just keep longer, and with those absorption packs, these. Let's see. What else can we talk about today? I was thinking about prepping again, and I think the only thing that I really didn't cover was clothing, blankets, pet beds, cleaning supplies. I don't know if we covered that, but we do need to all remember that, grid down or not, we have to have some cleanliness going on about us, right? So try to stock up if you can. Get some dry shampoo for yourself, your kids, your family, and they also sell dry shampoos and stuff like that for your pets, because we're not going to have showers and tubs, and you're not going to want to use your water like that either. So if you can possibly find products that are water free, there's a lot of waterless soaps, sprays, shampoos. You put it in. Brushes, get brushes and combs stocked up for yourself and your pets, so that you can, if you use that dry shampoo, you can brush it out, right? Flashlights, toolkit, please remember to put toolkits in your thing. Screws, nails, hammer, maybe a handsaw, wire, paracord. That stuff is awesome, right? You can get all that stuff at the Dollar Tree, guys. You can go in there and they have the rolls of yellow, pink, orange. They have all these different color paracord, in case you have to drag something. What if you have to drag a deer home, or an animal you killed, or whatever, for survival, whatever, or you have to pull something or somebody out of something, you know what I'm saying? Just doesn't hurt to have paracord. It's great stuff. It'll do a lot of things. You can go on YouTube and type in uses for paracord, and you would be surprised at the stuff you can do. Sorry, take those off for a minute. I'm weird. I don't need my glasses for watching TV, driving, but I need them for the computer, my phone, stuff like that. Yeah, flashlights. Try to get yourself some solar everything. Whatever you can get that's solar operated, invest in it. With no power, you're not going to be able to charge anything. USBs aren't going to do us any good, right? So find as much solar as you can. On one of my videos, I talked about solar radio / lamp / blah, 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 blah. And if you go over to Carrie, Old Critters, she does a whole thing on her radio that she bought. I now have 2 of them. That has a light, it has a radio, it has an emergency alarm, it has $30, right? But it handles an array of things, and you will have it forever if you just keep it in the sun. Any kind of solar lighting you can get. I showed you in my one video back here in the 20-footer that we bought solar lights for inside there, that the panels are on top, and it lights up the whole place when they're fully charged, and they have remotes. So it's time to invest in solar. I really believe it is. Either it's going to become so expensive to have power, they're going to make it, because they're trying to get everybody on electric, which is so stupid, right? Electric takes all this energy and all this equipment that it takes to, like your cars, your blah, 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 blah. But they also, prior to that, I think during the Trump administration, they were pushing solar. Now they're pushing electric cars, electric everything. They're telling people in California they can't have anything that's run off natural gas now. I mean, it's time for us to start coming up with our own alternatives. And solar is really, when you think about it, if power gets to be too expensive, and you can't afford it, then you have solar. If they shut the lights off, or somebody else comes in our country and shuts down the grid, we have solar, right? They can't block the sun forever unless we have a major Yellowstone goes off and for 3 years it blocks out the sun. We have solar, right? So yes, this is probably turning in to be a prep video, but that's okay because we all need to understand that you have to rely on yourselves. When it all hits the fan, you only have yourselves and your family, your neighbors. That's it. That's all you have. Do not wait for the ambulance, the police, the government. Don't go there. Just make yourself self-reliant, right? Learn some first aid. Learn about if you have family members that have specific illnesses, asthma or sugar diabetes or whatever, migraines, simple things. The complicated things, we're all going to be up against it. We're all just going to have to comfort each other the best we can. But when it comes to things like asthma and diabetes and whatever, and that depending on which stage, obviously, of diabetes you have, learn how to do some alternative medications. Get into some natural herbs or something that might help that situation when there's no pharmacy. So education, let's educate ourselves. Okay, there's so much free information on the internet. Turn off the TV for an hour. Make your kids read up on some of that. They need to learn it too. They don't need to just know how to, uppercut on their video game. They need to know how to take care of their families when they're called for that help. And trust me, they will feel good about being able to help. Right now, it's not going to interest them in the least. But when it hits the fan, and it's when, not if, they're going to feel really good knowing that they are taking care of their sister or a loved one with diabetes or whatever. So come up with some alternative ways to take care of yourself and your families. Even if you live in a small community or whatever, or a neighborhood, get together with your neighbors and say, hey, who's good at this? Who's good at that? Who's good at woodworking? Who is really good mechanically that can come up with these things, right? Nurses, anything, cooks, organizers. There's people out there, man, their skill is organizing. They can organize anything. They can organize ants in an anthill, right? So get together, write down who's got what strengths. So when it happens, you guys have a little community of your own going. So anyways, blankets and sheets and garbage bags, okay? You don't want to just start throwing your trash around the campfire or around your property or whatever. Get some kind of something going. If you've got property like us, try to dig yourself a garbage pit. Start turning your garbage now into mulch, right? Start getting a compost pile now. It takes 2 to 3 months to turn an average compost pile into compost or fertilizer. Start doing it now. If you live in an apartment or something like that, or in town, that's a little more difficult. Get creative. If you have to just make little bits of compost out on your balcony or somewhere in a garage or whatever, and just get little bits together and bag it up and seal it. So if you ever have to do some in-home planting, some herbs or whatever, buy yourself seeds now. Try to get the heirloom seeds and make a little thing along your windowsill, however. But I hope that when it hits the fan, you get out of Dodge, okay? Get out of the city if you can. Just go. But yeah, for those of us who have homes, who live out here on property, now is the time. We just bought a compost toilet, so now is the time we're going to start saving that, fertilizing. We've got a whole back area back here behind me, a whole half acre back there that we're just going to start dumping our compost from our toilet onto that land and getting that land ready for next spring. It's kind of late now for us to start that, but we'll get the dirt going, right? So next year, who knows what it's going to be like. And the year before the election again, I don't know what they're going to pull, do you? So let's think future. Let's think fertilizer. Let's think solar. Let's think alternative health issues, alternative medicines. Talk to your people at your health food store. Go into your local Nature's Grocer. Get online, talk to an herbologist. They're all over the chat rooms, right? And bring these things up. And so get knowledgeable now, okay? Because when the internet goes down and there's no power, whatever you know at that moment is all you're ever going to know, unless you have a community thing going on. Talk to one another. It's just smart, okay? So yes, this did turn into a prepper type thing, and I'll list it as a prepper video. But I just felt the need to tell you that because I think we're going there, and we're going to go there soon. Especially maybe the 2023, when we get towards the end of that year and we're going into a new election year. I don't know what things are going to be like. The interest rates are already going through the roof. People can't afford $15-$20 an hour right now isn't covering living expenses, and that's why they did it that way. They want you to feel good that they all gave you $20 an hour to work at Wendy's, right? But it ain't covering much. So that's the point. So anyways, that kind of takes care of it for that video. Right now I'm on the GoPro. It seems to be doing good. But I have decided I think I'm going to go there with the Canon that Carrie lent me. I really like it. I'll show you which one she lent me. I'll take you down here for a minute. So this is Carrie's Canon. Oops, sorry, wrong way. So yeah, I really like it. I like that part of it, right? I like that it has the flip screen so that I can see what I'm filming, right? Hi. So yeah, I'm loving it. Turn this off. Flip this back down like that. But yes, I think that I'm gonna go there, dive in and get me one of those as a backup with this GoPro. I like the GoPro because I can wander around and you guys aren't jerking all over the place. Carrie said that one right there is more of a, using more of a tripod type over my shoulder. You guys watching me paint and stuff like that, that's more for what that was made for. So unless you want to spend $2,000, and I don't. So anyways, guys, thanks for joining me. I hope some of this information helps you. I hope that you are not afraid to prep. Prepping is not a bad word, and it's not fear mongering. It's smart. People have been prepping for hundreds of years, okay? Those were the people that everybody ran to when they weren't prepping, and it's going to be that way again. You're going to be the prepper on the neighborhood, and if your neighbors are all thinking you're full of it and lost your mind, guess who's going to be at your door when it hits the grid? And you know what? When you have these meetings with family, friends, neighbors, you need to tell them that. I don't want to hear you banging on my door because you think I'm full of it. I don't want to hear you saying, oh, well, Susie needs some cookies and Aunt Martha needs some aspirin. You know, my husband's trying to build this shelter for us, but we don't have a hammer. You know what? You need to let people know ahead of time. I'm sorry. I love you. I love you. I'm telling you now. Like God did in the Bible, right? He warned us. He gave us thousands of years of warning. If we choose to ignore that, that's on us. That's not God's fault. Don't be blaming all your problems on God. You've had 2,000 years to get together with Him and His Word, right? Your neighbors, they have had all this time of seeing you prep, watching you do what you do, thinking you're full of crap. Don't let them tell you anything otherwise, okay? But they're going to be the ones at your door. So you need to remind everybody. I am not the local supermarket when it all hits the fan. I am not. I will help you as much as I can, but my family comes first. You've been warned, right? So, sorry guys, but that is the hard truth. That is the way it's going to be. It's like when you win the lottery, all of a sudden you have 15 uncles, 23 stepbrothers, 500 Aunt Marthas, right, showing up at your door. Okay, it's not going to be any different in a grid down situation. In fact, it'll be worse because then people are going to get desperate and get violent. Just take care of yourselves. Prep. Tell your friends, family to prep. If you have to help them now and then, if you're in a position where you can say, I'm bringing you over $100 worth of canned goods, or make a box for them at your house because you know they're going to show up at your door, then if you're in a position to do that, then do it. But if not, you just need to warn them. The door will be locked when it hits the fan. Do not come over asking me to borrow a hammer. Okay? They're $1 at the Dollar Tree. Go get one. So, Anyways, guys, take care of yourselves. Remember to pray, craft, prep, right? And throw around like I just did, because right now I feel really good. So we'll talk to you later, guys. Bye.